If you're into your gym equipment like I am, you may have come across old school secondhand Cybex Hack Squat machines selling for upwards of $5,000 to even $10,000. Yes, people are actually willing to spend $10,000 on a secondhand hack squat machine. I figured given the exorbitant prices of these secondhand Cybex Hack Squat machines, I'd do a video comparing 4 different hack squat machines on the market. We're going to look at obviously the Cybex secondhand old school machine. We're going to look at the Matrix Hack Squat. We're going to look at the Watson Hack Squat, and we're going to look at the Technogym Hack Squat. We're going to take a look at some of the differences between these pieces, what they offer from a mechanical perspective, how adjustable they are, and look at which one we might prefer when comparing these 4 options. Now, when I'm looking at hack squat machines, there's probably 4 or so main features or things that I want to think about when I'm comparing them. Firstly, I want to look at what angle is it relative to the floor. Is it at a 60-degree angle? Is it at a 45-degree angle? What's that angle? That determines how many plates I'm going to need to load onto that thing. The next thing I'm looking at is the angle of that foot pad relative to the back pad. Is it perpendicular? Is it a slightly acute angle? Or is it more of an obtuse angle? That's going to have a big bearing on how someone's patellofemoral joint might feel when they're doing that hack squat. The unracking mechanism is actually a really important factor when it comes to these hack squat machines. Some of them have an unracking mechanism that is up behind your head, so you've got to reach up and try to unrack it from up here. Other ones are actually down lower on the machine. That actually does make a big difference for someone who's dealt with shoulder injuries and had clients that have dealt with shoulder injuries. Having a lower unracking mechanism actually helps a lot. Final thing here is the adjustability of the machine. Can we adjust the angle of the foot plate? Can we adjust the angle of the back pad? Those are 2 really valuable features in a hack squat, because if someone does have patellofemoral issues or challenges when squatting low, we can now adjust that to suit their needs and have more clients actually fit the machine, which is really useful if we're running a gym. First up, we're going to take a look at the old school Cybex Hack Squat machine and some of its features. This piece has a nice little headrest up the top, which I haven't seen on that many hack squat machines. It has a really nice unracking mechanism which is low down, and that's nice because you don't have to kind of reach behind your head to unrack the machine. It also has a really large foot plate. This one's actually been modified, so it's got more surface area than the original. This machine runs at about a 45-degree angle from the ground, and it runs about perpendicular to the foot plate, or maybe a slightly obtuse angle there, but it's pretty much perpendicular. It's a fairly compact machine, and it doesn't take up too much space, which is nice. Other than this, there's not really any magical mechanical features to this Cybex Hack Squat. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Matrix Hack Squat. I believe the version we have here is called the Magnum or something similar. This one's really common in Australian gyms, especially large commercial chains. You will usually find a Matrix Hack Squat like this. If I'm being really honest here, this machine isn't really very nice from a mechanical perspective. It's got an unracking mechanism which is up behind the head, which from my experience can be a bit uncomfortable for people with shoulder injuries. And also that foot plate is actually kind of at an acute angle. It's not actually, doesn't run perpendicular to the back pad. So what this means is, given it's a small foot plate surface area, I've got to put my feet all the way up the top of that. Otherwise, I end up in way more knee flexion than I actually want to be in the exercise. And unfortunately with this piece, there is no adjustability. So we can't modify foot plate angles. We can't modify the back pad angle either. One final thing that I noticed on this piece is the actual support pad for the shoulders can be a bit uncomfortable for some clients, especially leaner clients with not much mass around their shoulders and trap area. It can actually get so uncomfortable they don't even want to use the machine. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Technogym Hack Squat. Firstly, it has a really large foot plate on it, which is nice. It allows us to vary our foot position much more than we can if it's just got a really small foot plate. The back plate on this one runs at about a 45-degree angle from the floor, and the foot plate is at a very slightly acute angle there, but it's not as big a concern as the Matrix one because it just offers such a large foot plate, this one, so it makes up for that a little bit there. Similar to the Matrix one, it unracks from behind the head, so that can be uncomfortable for people with shoulder injuries or issues. One little value add on this piece is it does have some little hooks that you can attach bands to down the bottom. So that's nice, makes it really easy to attach bands if you wanted to do a banded hack squat on this. And like the Matrix version and like the Cybex version we just looked at, there is no adjustability of foot plate angle or back pad angle on this machine. Finally, we're going to take a look at the Watson hack squat machine. Now, I was lucky enough to use this one at City Gym here in Sydney, Australia, and I've got to say, this one is very impressive. Right off the bat, when I walked in and looked at this piece, I could already see there was an adjustability handle on the back, so I could modify that back pad angle. And then looking at the foot plate as well, you can actually modify angles on the foot plate. This is actually really useful because you may have clients with patellofemoral or knee issues, and we can now fit this to more clients. We can adjust it such that people with injuries may actually be able to fit this and perform hack squats with less concern than they do on those non-adjustable machines. It's got a massive foot plate on it, so that allows plenty of variability with foot position here. And this one also unracks from below. So if someone does have shoulder problems, no concern there. We can just unrack it from down here and it's not going to necessarily cause any problems for them. So how do these four machines stack up? Well, look, if you've got the budget to spend, that Watson one just wins hands down because of all that adjustability it offers. We can tailor that to clients with different needs, different body structures, different goals, and even around injuries. If someone's got patellofemoral joint problems or knee issues, we can probably make modifications to the Watson one that's going to be more suitable to those clients. Just as a really quick aside here, I think a lot of the Nautilus and Cybex branded machines have gained a lot of popularity over the last few years. Some of that is due to the mechanical feature of the machines. And of course, you're willing to pay more if the machine offers us something better from a mechanical perspective. But a lot of that hype is also just due to the brand name and having a nice kind of old school machine. We've got to always look at it though from a mechanical perspective and what that machine offers. So for me personally, the brand name's not so important. It's more around what does that machine actually offer me. When it comes to hack squats though, I would say a lot of the newer pieces are probably going to be preferable just because of the adjustability that they offer. Looking at the other three machines, the Matrix hack squat, if I'm completely honest here, I just would not buy this piece. I wouldn't spend $1 on it. It just does not offer me anything mechanically that I really would like. And for someone with patellofemoral issues, it's just not really going to be a viable option in many scenarios. If I'm comparing the Technogym and the Cybex pieces, they're actually really similar. I think overall I would probably just prefer the Cybex old school one because that foot plate is more perpendicular to the back pad. However, the Technogym one does have a really large foot plate on it. So it's kind of a toss-up between those two. If it's me, I'm probably just going to take the one that's cheaper if I'm buying hack squats and I'm comparing those two options. And it's likely the Cybex one is going to be quite expensive just because it's in such high demand. Obviously, there are a lot of other brands out there making hack squats at the moment. For me personally, if I'm going to purchase one, looking at the mechanics of it, I just want that adjustability. Can I adjust the foot plate? Can I adjust the back pad? Those are the two key factors for me because if we can adjust those things, we can just fit it to way more clients. We can have way more variety in our training when we're using the machine, and it's potentially going to be a lot better for people with knee or patellofemoral joint issues. I hope this helps you when it comes to looking at hack squat machines. Obviously, there's far more to them than what I can put in this YouTube video, but if you do have any questions, please put them down below and I'll get back to you really soon.